planning, and we are here live with a few of our resident and student leaders. My name is Richard Bruno. I'm the resident chair for the National Conference this year in Kansas City, and I wanted to, we're going to be hearing from a number of the Academy, and I wanted to introduce each of them and have them tell you a little bit about what their role has been and opportunities that you may have to get involved with the Academy on the leadership level. So first I'd like to introduce Dr. Andy Lutz-Cannon and telling you a little bit about his role in leadership in the Academy and what he's been doing and what he's been up to this year as a board. Andy?
Great. Thanks, Cannon. I'm a resident from Pennsylvania. I'm currently serving as the resident member of the board of directors. I serve Zimmerman, who is the student member. And together we serve as the and student voice to the board of directors, exactly, but we bring the perspective of our constituent groups to the board. So we serve a one-year term on the board. We're full-fledged board members. We get to vote on all introduced items of business. We participate fully in the discussion. I've been very pleased to see over the course of the year that our opinions are not appreciated but actively sought out by the other board members in terms of deliberations. For those people that are interested, this is actually quite a bit of a time requirement and keeps us pretty busy throughout the year. Academy does require a year, which you'll be hearing from most of the folks that qualify to run for this, with the caveat that as a student you need to be going into your year of medical school before you can do this. For residents, there's no rule, but generally folks do this in their third year. So like I said, board members, we help work on the strategic plan, we help talk about financial issues, review the budget, and implement all the great policy that comes from the Academy. In terms of a time commitment, we are talking about probably about 45 days of travel to 5 separate boards onto a commission, and have to go to the summer and winter to represent the board in those meetings as well. But don't worry, the Academy is pretty good, and we'll pay your way to get to these events. And for some of the heftier airfare, you can get some of that money up front so that you don't have to take on that burden yourself. We do quite a bit of interacting with folks. Obviously, you have all the board members in the room, the president-elect, the board chair, Doug Henley, the EVP, the executive vice presidents at the Academy. And it's a great way to the Academy is going and see all of the different facets of the Academy, even beyond some of the student and resident stuff that most of us are familiar with, especially having been in leadership for a number of years. So I think it's a great opportunity for folks to get even, to really have an instrumental role that the resident and the student voice is heard. You do get the extra opportunity to interact with our Canadian counterparts, which was a really good experience, and I look forward to sharing that with folks this coming national conference. So if you think this is something that you might be interested in doing, I would encourage you to start thinking about that later, and be talking with your deans and your program directors to look at the time commitment. All of the dates are available online ahead of time, which is a good thing. And of course, as always, don't ever hesitate to get a hold of myself or Christina if you have any further questions. So I'll turn it back to Richard.
Throughout our talk, but for more information on these roles, you can always go to afp.org/getinvolved and see exactly what the requirements are, what the benefits are, and exactly how to go about applying for positions. afp.org/getinvolved for future reference. Okay, great. So next, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to tell you a little bit about my role as the resident chair for the national conference this year. And after that, we'll go down through some of the other national leaders, and they'll be telling you where basically sort of coordinates and helps make decisions about various aspects of the national conference from theme, the different programming activities, some of the social events that happen. And it's a year-long commitment, so and things start fairly early. Luckily, there are a couple of AFP staff members who have been extremely helpful. They, in fact, spend the conference and are very, they're amazing because they not only have the breadth of knowledge from years past from what we've done with the national conference, but can help generate new ideas and help with all the logistics to making a successful conference that we put on every year. So as part of residentship, I serve on the Commission on Education and specifically the Subcommittee on National Conference Planning. And so during the different cluster meetings twice a year, we go through and we meet face to face and we have discussions about all the different aspects that go into the planning. In addition to that commission, also involved in running the business meetings that happen during the Congress of Delegates for the residents. And so everything from fielding the resolutions, the elections, all the things in the business session, chair is responsible for helping coordinate all of that. In order to run for this position, you have to have had at least 1 year experience with the national position, and that could be either MIG, could be on any of the with the Academy, such as the AMA alternate delegate, or the AFMRD, AFM. You could also have held a position on a commission. So any sort of national level leadership position. You also have had to have gone to national conference at least one time in the past as well. And I can talk a little bit more about sort of, as we're kind of wrapping up today, a little bit more about how the vision for this summer will go. But before we do that, I'd like to go over now to our other delegates. So we have with us Keisha Harvey. Dr. Harvey is the resident delegate to the AFP Congress of Delegates. And Keisha, are you available?
I am available. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I am Keisha Harvey. I'm the resident delegate to the Congress of Delegates. One of the reasons that I decided to run for this position was because I wanted to be a part of something so much bigger than myself. We have a lot of giants that are a part of the AFP. I want to work with them, learn from them, and also I wanted to convey some of my co-residents' issues were as a resident. I had a lot of help as far as being coached in my position. One of the people that I have taken on as a mentor is Dr. Javette Orgain. She is vice speaker for the AFP. She also holds many offices. She has so many accolades and she's done a lot of things, and she's teaching me and coaching me about how to become a better physician, how to learn the parliamentary procedures, and just how to be a well-rounded AFP member and family physician. When you run for this position, what's awesome about it is you first become an alternate delegate. So you get a little time and a little coaching on the things that are expected of you. You get to sit back and watch how everyone else is. You also are heard, but you get a chance to just learn what the purpose is to bring the resident perspective, orient the residents to AFP governance, and also communicate issues of importance. And this was very big for me because I like to debate, but I didn't know how to debate well. And I think becoming a part of the AFP governing body is teaching me currently how to become a better debater and also convey some issues, greater cause. The benefits are trying to increase awareness about what's going on. Something that's becoming big is direct primary care. And as part of our didactics, we had a whole day dedicated to direct primary care. And it was a good feeling to not only listen and learn more about it, but also to have some input and teach more people about it and how it's going to become the big physicians and other primary care providers. Time commitment, It's about 45 days. You do a summer conference as well as General Assembly. Before each cluster, 2 weeks before, they give you plenty of reading materials. They of things that you'll need to go over. It's in everyone's best interest that you dedicate the time to actually reading the packet and handout. Do it all over again, I definitely would. I cannot express how much I've grown in this leadership body, and so I encourage anyone who's interested in doing something more to run for this position. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Harvey. AFP.org/get involved. All right. Very cool. So next, I'd like to go on to the FMIG National Network, the National FMIG Network National Coordinator. Sorry, Jackie. And are you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to this year?
I'm right here, Richard. Jacqueline Wynn. I am the current Family Group FMIG or FMIG Network's National Coordinator. This is a one-year position to be involved in an FMIG at any point in your past. I time as a regional coordinator with pretty awesome national coordinator who's also here on this conference call, Mustafa. He told me that this is a good way to get a better idea of how the Academy of Family Physicians worked, get a better idea, bigger idea of where family medicine fits into healthcare in America. And it's been really great for fellow regional coordinators to try to raise the awareness of family medicine among other students and building student interest across the nation. We were very fortunate to accomplish our goal and have one in students in medical. And that accomplishment is something I'm really proud of, and I really loved coordinating with the regional coordinators. The responsibility for this position has been mentioned before. We go to a national conference where we host a couple of events throughout. There is 4 events between Thursday and Friday geared specifically towards FMIG leaders. We also, as a national coordinator, serve on the National Conference Planning Committee. So we meet in October cluster and summer cluster. And then as the national coordinator, I'm involved working with the AFP staff members to plan the orientation for our regional coordinators in early January. For all of these events, there is a little bit of preparation work beforehand, but I haven't found it to be very intrusive upon my work. My school has been really supportive in letting me get away for all of these meetings with minimal makeup work done because many of the meetings happen on the weekends or now in the summer. And that's really everything that I can say about the position. I just love it as a great stepping stone to get to know how the Academy works on a larger level. Thanks, Richard.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. That's wonderful. We're going to go on to the student directors. So Mustafa Alavi,
student representative to SDFM, which is the Society of Teachers of Family Medicine. So if you don't know, SDFM is a sister organization to AFP, have an office in the same building with the AFP. The goal of the organization is to advance family medicine and health through a community of family medicine educators and scholars. And the whole reason I joined SDFM was because I know I want to go into academic family medicine, and this group has an amazing society of teachers, and I thought it was a great group to network with and have as mentors. And for the position, it's a one-year election at the national conference, and the time commitment, it's a board position, but it's not as much of a time commitment as the AFPAs, I would say, of travel. Rather large, so you do have to take it in pieces. But if you do it in a few days at a time, you can get through the board documents just fine. I would say this position is doable as a third, or the option to stay on for another year, so it would be a 2-year position. I'm doing it as a 4th year. It's a one-year position for me. Your resident, I'm also speaking on behalf of the resident representative, Becky Robart. She's unable to make it. To show interest in family medicine in any way, and you run for it at national conference. In terms of the time commitment, there's 4 board meetings a year. As the student representative, your main commitment is the medical student education part in the planning for the MSc conference. And Becky, the resident representative, took a big part in planning the annual conference, which is more for residents. So you take part in those committees, and position with that, I was able to be on a plenary for Family Medicine for America's Health, and got to take a big part in for SDFM. Aside from that, there is no stipend for this position like the AFP position, pay for anything, so you don't have to worry about that. And overall, this position has been a great opportunity. Professionally, I've been able to develop my leadership abilities. It was kind of intimidating being at a sitting at a board meeting, a bunch of hotshots in family medicine, but get over that. Everyone is super nice and welcoming, and I love the group. I mean, SCFM is definitely encourage it. Thank you.
And just to give you another what Mustafa was talking about, if you want to know more, go to afp.org/getinvolved, and that positions that are available to students and residents. All right, cool. Well, so far we have one more resident member that I'd like to introduce you to. Dr. Natasha Bouillon is on the Association of Family Medicine Residency Directors, and she was elected as the resident member of the Board of Directors. So, Natasha, please fill us in on what you've been up to.
Arizona, I go to Banner University Medical Center. So I'm the resident representative to the Association of Family Medicine Residency Directors, and it's an organization that provides support to program directors to create high-quality family medicine residencies. Now, a lot of people don't know about them, especially residents and medical students, but the AFMRD offers a lot of service program directors, like the Residency Curriculum Resource, the National Institute of Program Director Development, and the Residency Performance Index, to share the resident perspective on a variety of issues, like implementing the ACGME milestones. Requirements of the position, it mostly includes participating on monthly conference calls, as well as 4 meetings per year nationally, and of course all expenses are paid. Commitment varies per month because it mostly surrounds preparing for all of the board meetings, reviewing the agenda. There's a lot of background prep, of course. There's also some fun committee work related to different things like selecting the winners of the Family Medicine Congressional Conference scholarships. The term for this position is 1 year, but I was lucky enough to serve for 2. Now, being part of the AFMRD board, it's pretty great because you get to interact with program directors who are also on the board, and also AFMRD, surrounded by all of these legends of family medicine who've shaped how I'm trained, but then they also value my opinion and they want to help me grow as a leader. And on the board, we engage in a lot of thoughtful discussions. My voice was always heard to gain insight into the complexities of graduate medical education, me become a better advocate for training reform. And the position, like Mustafa said as well, it's also led to other opportunities, like for me, the Resident Insight Group for Family Medicine for America. Any residents out there running for a position, I say just go for it, and please ask me if you have any questions. Thank you, guys.
One really cool things. And congratulations. So I'm going to give you the web page address again for those who are interested in learning more about these p.org/getinvolved. Okay, there's one more position I wanted to tell you about. Unfortunately, we weren't able to snag in this position this year, but I wanted to quickly give you a little bit about what they've done and give you their contact information in case you're interested in learning more. And that is the AFP Foundation Board. So a student and a resident member will get elected to this position every summer at the national conference. And the student member this year, Christopher Watson. And Jessica wanted me to give you her email address in case you're interested in learning more about this position. beyond what's available on the web page. And her email address is jessjohn, that's JESSJOHN, at ohsu.edu. And she'd be happy to talk with you more about and all the great things that they are doing. So, end of our roles and resident roles that we've been filling you in on, and I wanted to brief the national conference itself. Now, not only do we have hundreds of students and residents coming from all over the country, but there's also almost every family medicine department, residency department in the country comes and has a booth in the big exhibit hall. So you can get to meet those folks face to face and get to see more information at this webpage, afp.org/getinvolved. But there's also a national conference that are volunteer leadership positions, and I wanted to quickly tell you about those. There are a number of positions that happen during the business session itself, during which we need folks for helping for things like parliamentarian and coordinating the election committee. But prior to that, on the Friday of National Conference, there are reference committee groups to discuss the resolutions that have been proposed. And so the students and the residents each have 3 reference committees, and so we need folks to serve on those reference committees to hear testimony about the resolutions and decide whether or not they would recommend that these resolutions be voted on favorably by the so in order to see more about the reference committee, the parliamentarian, and the various, so we're nearing the end here. I want to give you just a couple of quick other points about positions that are appointed in the fall conference in September for various positions, and those are the commission position. The AFP has 5 commissions that meet during cluster meetings in February and in June, May or June. And these are commissions that handle the bulk of residents serve on each one of those commissions. And so if you're interested, you can go to that afp.org/getinvolved link that I put up earlier and figure out which positions you'd be interested in. A Commission for Health of Public and Science and Professional Development, and currently, as part of the resident chair position, I'm serving on the Commission on Education. And it's fantastic from around the country. In addition to those commission appointments that are being made, there are also positions interfacing with the AMA, so the FMIG network regional coordinators will get appointed in the fall, and there's several advisory and editorial boards that get chosen each fall. We'll do a plan to do a follow-up video that will feature residents and students serving in those positions, so look out for that soon. I want to finally mention that, beyond these that we've been discussing tonight, there are also multiple other ways to get involved with your state chapters. So we highly encourage you to get to state chapters and find ways that you can get involved with things that are going on the ground in your state. So unless anyone has any other further thoughts, I want to thank everyone for participating tonight and lending your time here. It's been really get more involved with the Academy, because we really can make this the best Academy for being here, and I hope you have a great evening.
Yay.
Thank you.